In this episode, I explain how shifting your energy creates clarity, reveals new possibilities, and reconnects you with your Ikigai in career and life transitions. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to another mini episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I hope your first week back from the holidays is shaping out to be wonderful. If you're new to this podcast, welcome. These Thursday episodes are bite-sized reflections taken from my longer Monday episodes as we travel through your week and offers a few moments of pause and reflection just for you. For today, I'd like to talk briefly about the benefits of shifting your energy. When women come to me during career or life transitions, one of the first things they often say is something like this: nothing is actually wrong, but something feels off. And I always pause when I hear that because that sentence holds a lot of information. When nothing appears broken on the outside, we tend to turn inward and assume that we are the problem. We tell ourselves that we should be grateful. We should have clarity by now. We should be able to figure this out. So we push and we plan more, and we try to force answers from a place that already feels depleted. But over the years, both in my own life and in my work as a coach, I've come to understand something very clearly. Sustainable clarity does not come from force. It comes from energy. And not the energy as in how busy or productive you are, but energy as in how you experience your life. In my work as a core energy coach, we talk about 7 levels of energy, and I'll explain these levels in a lot more detail in upcoming episodes. But for now, these levels describe the lens through which you see yourself, your circumstances, and what you believe is possible. At the lower levels of level 1 and 2 energy, it's what we call catabolic. This is the energy of stress and worry and frustration and self-doubt, and often a quiet sense of resignation. But what's important to understand is you don't have to be unhappy to be operating here. You can be accomplished and responsible and highly capable and still be living in a way that is slowly draining you. Does that resonate with you? From these lower levels of energy, the world tends to feel heavy and constrained. Your thinking narrows and you focus on what you should do, what's expected of you, and what feels safe or responsible. And from that catabolic energy state, it becomes very difficult to access your Ikigai or your reason for being, not because it isn't there, but because from that lens, you simply can't see it. But as energy begins to shift upwards into level 3 and beyond, something starts to change. Your energy becomes more anabolic. That's where there's more acceptance and more curiosity and more openness. And you begin to see nuance instead of binaries and possibility instead of obligation. Nothing in your external life has to change yet, but internally your perspective does widen. And that's often where Ikigai begins to reveal itself. And it's not as a perfectly articulated purpose or a detailed plan, but as a sense that life feels worth living and that there is more available to you than you may have realized. That is why I often say that we don't discover our Ikigai by forcing clarity or pushing ourselves harder. We discover it by shifting our energy. And the good news is you don't need to overhaul your life to do that. Very often, it begins with something much simpler. Instead of asking yourself, what should I do next with my life? I invite you to ask a simpler, more revealing question. What is quietly draining my energy right now, even if it looks fine on the outside? And just as importantly, what gives me energy, even in small, ordinary ways, even if it doesn't yet make sense? Because every time you increase anabolic energy in your life, even in these small ways, your perspective expands. You begin to see more options and you feel more choice, and you become more available to discovering what truly matters to you. It could be as simple as introducing a small passion into your life, like writing or art or music. It could mean bringing more activities into your life that you enjoy, like dancing or exercise or planning a date with your loved one. So here's a simple practice I invite you to try this week. Without judging or fixing anything, begin to notice what activities leave you feeling heavier afterwards, more tense, depleted, or obligated, and what activities leave you feeling lighter, more open and engaged, or quietly alive. Just notice. Awareness alone begins to shift the energy, and energy shifts are what create real momentum. When we add more anabolic energy into our daily living, it builds and builds, and that is how reinvention truly begins. Not with pressure or urgency, but with presence. If you're feeling stuck, bringing these small energetic boosts into your life will allow you to begin to see possibilities you may not have considered before. As you're listening, you find yourself curious about your own energy, how you tend to show up day to day, and especially under stress. One powerful way to explore this is through the Energy Leadership Index Assessment, or ELI. This is an online assessment which I'm qualified and trained to administer and debrief on, which I either use with clients as a standalone insight or at the beginning of my deeper coaching work. If you're interested in knowing which combination of anabolic and catabolic energy exists in your life and where it is coming from, and more importantly, what to do about it, reach out to me and I can set you up with the ELI assessment. You just have to check the show notes and just book a call with me and we can go from there. But for now, my friend, the invitation is simple. Pay attention to what drains you and what gives you life. Because when your energy shifts, your options multiply, and that's often the moment when your Ikigai, or reason for being, begins to come into view again. Until next time, stay well.